So there's been back and forth for years now about whether or not to protect small waterways under the Clean Water Act. And last summer, the Trump era rule took effect that essentially the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will no longer protect certain types of waterways under the Clean Water Act. Now the pueblos of Laguna and Jemez have filed a lawsuit against the two agencies regarding this rule. Let's start with you, Chris Toya. You're from Jemez Pueblo. Can you talk a little bit about why these ephemeral and intermittent waterways are so important to New Mexicans?
Because we live in the high desert Southwest. 87% of our streams are ephemeral, meaning that during the monsoon season or rainy events or snow melt, these arroyos, drainages get filled with water, and they are tributaries to the main Jemez River, and we use the water for irrigation of our crops, and then it's a means of food supply as well. We go fishing, and the fish that we catch in the Jemez River is what we eat. One other important factor is that the water in the Jemez River is used in ceremonies, and this is a threat to our way of life.
Mm-hmm. Cliff Villa, you worked on this lawsuit through the UNM Law Clinic. Can you talk a little bit about what types of pollution, what types of threats these sorts of waterways are under, and if successful, what this lawsuit would do?
Yeah, thanks, Laura. So through the UNM School of Law Clinic, we have worked with a number of tribes and tribal members for a long time, and we listen to their concerns, and we think about how we might be able to use the law to address those concerns. One of the biggest concerns we've heard recently was concerns about continuing to protect tribal waters under the Clean Water Act. The Clean Water Act is incredibly broad. It basically applies to all pollutants, toxic pollutants, hazardous waste, even in some cases things like dirt or cow manure. And so the threats to New Mexico's waters can come from many different directions, but one of them might be something industrial activity like mining, including uranium mining in the Navajo Nation and the Grants Mining District. There's pumice mining in the Jemez watershed. There's sewage. Raw sewage has been a big problem across the country for a long time. And even things like sediment that might clog up a channel and prevent waters from reaching the communities could be an issue, and is something that is regulated under the Clean Water Act when the Clean Water Act applies. That the problem here is that the Trump rule severely diminished the scope of protection under the Clean Water Act.
So the federal administrations have gone back and forth on these protections, and even states have gone back and forth. Under the Martinez administration, the state of New Mexico opposed these protections. Cliff, let's start with you. Can you talk a little bit about why protections under the Clean Water Act would be controversial?
Well, I think part of the controversy is a resistance to federal regulation at all. The Clean Water Act was designed to establish national standards that states would implement. And so there's always been sort of a state component there. I don't think that's been fully understood, but I also think that there's been a lot of misunderstanding about what the Clean Water Act does. One of my favorite examples of misunderstanding was there was a rumor that Obama was attempting to promulgate a rule that would regulate puddles under the Clean Water Act. And so the Obama administration actually went out of its way to write a rule that said this rule does not apply to literally puddles. And the first thing that the Trump administration claimed after Trump came in 2017 was that Obama's rule has been a disaster. He used that word. And he said, in particular, it is regulating puddles. When Obama went out of its way to say, no, the rule doesn't regulate puddles. So there's just been a lot of misunderstanding, misstatements about the Clean Water Act scope. Really what it's about is protecting your water and mine, waters in the Jemez River, waters in the Rio Grande. And we have so little water in New Mexico that we just don't have any to spare. So maybe there are some genuine controversies around the edges of wetlands in the eastern United States, but all the water in New Mexico is needed for purposes here in New Mexico, and particularly for the tribal communities.
Right. Chris Toya, clean water just doesn't seem controversial to me. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen over the years in terms of, wanting to protect these waters and in particular tribal waters?
Yes. Throughout the years, I've noticed that, we're getting more and more people, recreationalists in our Jemez Mountains. The Forest Service declared an area up here in the Jemez Mountains a national recreational area, and we're getting people by the thousands. I think annually, this is old data, but they were saying that we get over 1.6 million visitors in our Jemez Mountains, and the largest bottleneck is the Pueblo itself. We're getting so much vehicle traffic on the highway, and it's dangerous for the people. But what people don't realize is that they're trekking on the roadways, on areas that don't have any paths. You got vehicle traffic, you got foot traffic, and you also got cattle. And so what happens is that this areas start getting eroded. And we've noticed within this past few years, we're just getting so much sediment in our irrigation systems. It's one issue that we're facing. And we're farmers, and we use this water from the Jemez River to irrigate our fields, but we're getting sediment loads that is unbelievable. The other issues is that we need this clean water. As I stated earlier, it's water is life, and water is very crucial in tribal life, especially in ceremonies. We use the water from the Jemez River, water from the springs to conduct ceremonies, not only for ourselves but for the whole world in a sense, because we're protecting and praying for the balance of Mother Earth. And so when that happens, not only do tribal members benefit, but the whole world benefits.
So lots of different groups have weighed in on this rule on all sides of the issue. Chris, can you talk a little bit about why this lawsuit is so important for the Pueblos in terms of things like jurisdiction and sovereignty?
Yes, currently the Jemez Pueblo Reservation is approximately 90,000 acres. We only claim, as far as the boundaries go, a fraction of what our ancestors had used at one time. So much of the ancestral homelands are under the management of the U.S. Forest Service, the Department of Interior, the National Park Service, Bureau of Land Management, and private property. So the watershed, the Jemez watershed, is above the valley of Jemez Pueblo. And so the main watershed is in the Valles Caldera National Preserve and the San Pedro Wilderness in the Nacimiento Mountains. And so you have this different land management happening from different federal agencies. And as I stated earlier, we got many thousands of recreationalists enjoying the mountains, and you've got your ranchers with cattle, and we need these waters protected, not only for ourselves but for wildlife, for all humanity. If we don't protect our waters, we're putting ourselves in a situation where, if our waters are really polluted, then we'll be looking back and saying, why didn't we do that? Why didn't we put the effort in to protect our waters? It's a very important issue that we're facing today. Tribal people across the United States and all peoples, we seem to kind of have missed the point in being human and being connected to Mother Earth. I think today our priorities are business and making money, but I hope that eventually we come to our senses and start protecting what is important for all life.
Right. Cliff, in our final minute here, what happens next with this lawsuit?
Well, there have been a number of similar lawsuits filed across the country, including a lawsuit by the Navajo Nation, a lawsuit involving tribes in Arizona and state of Washington. What we have seen is that the new Biden Department of Justice has sought to seek a stay of that litigation. And maybe that's something that we would consider as well. But we're also very concerned about protection of water in New Mexico right now. And we really need to think about how we begin doing that. The Biden administration on day one of the inauguration signaled an interest in reconsidering and possibly repealing the Trump rule. And we would love to see that. But that process takes time. It could take a matter of years to go through the formal rulemaking process. So one thing that our litigation is asking for is just vacate the rule. Just take us back to where we were before. At that point, the Pueblo of Jemez, the Pueblo of Laguna can make the arguments exactly as Chris is saying about why it's so important to protect their waters right now. We need a new rule, and everybody agrees that we do need a new rule going forward. But while that rulemaking process is continuing, we would really like to stop the effectiveness of this rule that just eliminates protection for so much of New Mexico's waters.
Right. Cliff Villa, Chris Toia, thank you so much for joining us on New Mexico in Focus today.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for the opportunity.